the courtyard of eternal bonds. The heavens were merciless. Above the mountain peak, clouds churned like a cauldron of wrath, black and violet arcs of lightning weaving together into a net that threatened to tear the sky apart. The air was thick with spiritual pressure, suffocating even the strongest cultivators who watched from afar. At the center of it all stood Liang Chen, robes tattered, hair wild, eyes burning with determination. His body trembled under the weight of the tribulation, yet his spirit refused to bow. He had reached the bottleneck of the nascent soul realm, the step that separated mortals from immortals, the dream of every cultivator. He had prepared for this moment for decades. His meridians had been tempered with rare herbs, his soul refined through endless meditation, his body strengthened by battles against beasts and rivals alike. His sect elders whispered of his talent, his peers envied his progress, and even the heavens seemed to acknowledge his potential. But as the tribulation descended, something went wrong. The first bolt struck, tearing through his protective formation like paper. Liang Chen gritted his teeth, channeling his qi to resist. The second bolt followed, fiercer, burning his flesh and searing his soul. He staggered but remained standing, his aura flaring defiantly. Then came the third bolt. It was not lightning, it was annihilation. A pillar of heavenly wrath, thicker than a mountain, brighter than the sun, descended upon him. His body convulsed, his soul screamed, and in that instant, Liang Chen understood. The heavens had rejected him. Darkness swallowed him whole. When he opened his eyes again, he was not in the void. He was lying on a bed, his body weak, his breath shallow. The scent of herbs lingered in the air, the soft rustle of silk sheets against his skin. He blinked, disoriented, and then froze. His hands trembled as they touched his belly, swollen, heavy, unmistakably pregnant. Panic surged through him. He looked around, searching for answers, but what came instead were memories. Not his own, but those of the body he now inhabited. He was no longer Liang Chen, the nascent soul cultivator. He was Mo Yao, a foundation establishment cultivator, married to a golden core husband named Zhao Feng. The memories were bitter, soaked in tears. Mo Yao had once believed in love, marrying Zhao Feng against his grandfather's wishes. He had dreamed of a life filled with warmth, of raising children together, of building a future side by side. But Zhao Feng had revealed his true nature after marriage: arrogant, domineering, greedy. He had filled his harem with concubines, flaunting his strength, and reminded Mo Yao constantly that he had only married him because of his nascent soul grandfather's wealth and influence. Mo Yao had endured humiliation, loneliness, and despair. He had carried Zhao Feng's child, hoping it would bring warmth, but instead it only chained him further. Now Liang Chen, reborn as Mo Yao, felt the weight of that tragedy. But unlike the original, he would not bow his head. The confrontation came swiftly. Zhao Feng stormed into the chamber, his aura pressing down like a mountain. "You dare defy me, Mo Yao? You are mine. You carry my child. You will obey." Liang Chen rose slowly, his eyes cold. "I am not yours. Not now, not ever." With a flick of his wrist, he summoned the sect's binding talisman. The golden thread that tied them together shimmered in the air, then snapped with a sharp crack. The severing of the marital bond echoed like thunder. Zhao Feng staggered, his face twisting in rage. "You dare." "I dared to love you once," Liang Chen said, his voice steady. "That was my mistake. I will not make it again." Zhao Feng's aura flared, but before he could strike, the air trembled. A storm of power descended, crushing Zhao Feng to his knees. Grand Elder Mo Tian had arrived. His nascent soul aura was overwhelming, his presence like a mountain pressing down on the world. His eyes blazed with fury as he looked upon Zhao Feng. "You dared to mistreat my grandson?" Mo Tian's voice was thunder itself. "Be grateful I do not erase you from existence. Touch him again, and you will beg for death." Zhao Feng paled, his arrogance shattered. He bowed his head, trembling, unable to meet Mo Tian's gaze. Mo Tian turned to Liang Chen, his expression softening. Chenner, you have suffered enough.
Come home.
You're safe now. For the first time since his rebirth, Liang Chen felt warmth. He bowed his head, tears burning his eyes. Grandfather. The months that followed were filled with change. Liang Chen gave birth to a healthy child, a boy with bright eyes and strong spiritual roots. Holding the baby, Liang Chen felt a surge of warmth. Though he had died once, this child was his new beginning. He named him Emotion, vowing to raise him with love and guidance. The sect whispered. Mo Yao had always been average, struggling to progress. But now his cultivation soared. Techniques from Liang Chen's past life, advanced methods unknown in this world, flowed through him. His chi condensed faster, his meridians expanded, his foundations stabilized. Within months, he advanced to core formation, stunning everyone. His grandfather watched with pride, his enemies with envy. Meanwhile, Mo Shun grew quickly. At 3 years old, he was already at the 4th level of chi gathering, his talent nurtured by Liang Chen's guidance. Mo Tian doted on his great-grandson, teaching him discipline and gifting him treasures. Liang Chen's life became a balance of cultivation and fatherhood. He spent his days training, refining his chi, and guiding Emotion. Nights were filled with stories, laughter, and quiet meditation. The pain of betrayal faded, replaced by the warmth of family. But Liang Chen knew this was only the beginning. His path stretched far ahead, filled with challenges and opportunities. He had died once, been reborn into tragedy, and clawed his way back to strength. Now, with Mo Shun at his side and his grandfather's support, he was ready to face the world anew. The days after Mo Shun's birth were filled with quiet determination. Liang Chen spent hours meditating, his mind weaving together fragments of his past life's cultivation knowledge with the techniques available in this world. He discovered that the methods here were crude compared to what he remembered. Where others struggled to condense qi into their dantian, he refined it with precision, layering it like silk threads until his foundation was flawless. The sect disciples whispered behind his back. Wasn't Mo Yao always mediocre? They asked. How did he suddenly advance so quickly? Some suspected secret treasures. Others claimed his grandfather was feeding him rare pills. But Liang Chen ignored them. He knew the truth. His soul carried the wisdom of a cultivator who had once stood at the edge of nascent soul. Mo Tian watched with pride. He had always believed his grandson had potential, but seeing Liang Chen's progress filled him with awe. Chenner, he said one evening as they sat beneath the lanterns, Emotion asleep in his arms, your path is extraordinary. Do not let the whispers of others distract you. Walk steadily, and the heavens will bow. Liang Chen nodded. I will, grandfather. For Shun, for our family, and for myself. Mo Shun grew quickly. By the time he was 3, he could already circulate qi through his meridians. Liang Chen guided him patiently, teaching him breathing techniques, sword stances, and the importance of discipline. The boy's eyes shone with determination, eager to impress his father. One evening, as Emotion practiced in the courtyard, a group of sect disciples gathered to watch. He's only 3, one whispered, and already at the 4th level of qi gathering. Incredible. Another scoffed. It's just because his grandfather spoils him. But when Emotion completed a flawless sword form, his qi flowing smoothly, even the skeptics fell silent. Liang Chen smiled, pride swelling in his chest. Good, he said, ruffling his son's hair. Remember, Shun, cultivation is not about showing off. It is about becoming strong enough to protect what you love. Emotion nodded solemnly. I'll protect you, father. And grandfather, too. Years passed, and Liang Chen's cultivation soared. He advanced steadily, his progress shocking the sect. Elders marveled at his breakthroughs, disciples looked at him with reverence, and rivals seethed with envy. He was no longer the average Mo Yao. He was Liang Chen reborn, a cultivator whose destiny was to shake the heavens. But his journey was not without challenges. The sect elders began assigning him tasks, testing his abilities. He battled spirit beasts in the mountains, retrieved rare herbs from dangerous valleys, and defended the sect against rival clans. Each mission honed his skills, tempered his spirit, and expanded his knowledge. Through it all, Emo Shun remained his anchor. Liang Chun returned from missions weary but always found time to sit with his son, guiding him through cultivation, telling him stories of courage, and reminding him of the importance of kindness. The whispers in the sect grew louder. Mo Yao is no longer the same, they said. He is destined for greatness. Some disciples tried to befriend him, others plotted against him, but Liang Chun remained focused. He had died once. He would not waste this second chance. One evening, as he meditated beneath the moonlight, he felt the stirrings of a breakthrough. His chi surged, his dantian expanded, and his meridians glowed with power. He knew the time had come. The golden core awaited. The breakthrough was not easy. He secluded himself in a cave, sealing the entrance with formations. For days, he meditated, refining his chi, condensing it into a core. The process was agonizing, his body trembling, his soul straining. Visions of dragons and phoenixes danced before his eyes, their cries echoing in his mind. Outside, the sect gathered, sensing the disturbance. Mo Yao is attempting golden core, they whispered. Will he succeed? Inside the cave, Liang Chen fought against the storm within. His chi resisted, his body screamed, but he pushed forward. He remembered the tribulation that had killed him, the pain of failure, the despair of rejection. He would not fail again. With a final surge, his chi condensed into a brilliant core, golden light flooding his body. His aura exploded outward, shaking the cave, sending ripples through the sect. He had succeeded. When he emerged, his eyes blazed with power, his aura radiant. The sect disciples bowed, awed by his transformation. Elders nodded in approval, their eyes filled with respect. Mo Tian stood proudly, his voice trembling with emotion. You have surpassed every expectation, Chun'er. The heavens may have struck you down once, but you have risen stronger than ever. Liang Chun bowed his head, his heart steady. He had died once, been reborn into tragedy, and clawed his way back to strength. Now, with Mo Shun at his side and his grandfather's support, he was ready to face the world anew. The sect elders wasted no time after Liang Chen's golden core breakthrough. His aura had shaken the mountains, his progress had silenced doubters, and now the sect sought to test him further. Missions were assigned, dangerous ones, the kind that only golden core cultivators could attempt. Liang Chen accepted them without hesitation. He had spent years cultivating in relative seclusion, balancing fatherhood with progress. Now it was time to step into the wider world again. Mo Shun was strong enough to begin his own path, and grandfather Mo Tian promised to watch over him while Liang Chen ventured out. The first mission took him deep into the Blackwood Forest, a place where spirit beasts prowled and ancient ruins whispered of forgotten sections. Liang Chen moved with confidence, his sword gleaming, his chi steady. Yet even he knew the dangers were immense. It was there that he met Yen Rui. Yen Rui was already known throughout the sect. A mid-level golden core sword cultivator, 5 years older than Liang Chen, his reputation was one of sharpness and solitude. His blade was said to cut through mountains, his demeanor colder than winter frost. Disciples admired him from afar, but few dared approach. When Liang Chen arrived at the mission site, Yen Rui was already there, standing beneath the twisted trees, his sword resting lightly in his hand. His eyes flicked toward Liang Chen, assessing, measuring. You're the new golden core, Yen Rui said, his voice calm but edged. Liang Chen inclined his head. Liang Chen, I hear we're to work together. Yen Rui gave a brief nod. Stay sharp. The forest doesn't forgive mistakes. Their partnership began with silence. Yen Rui moved like a shadow, his sword cutting down beasts with precision. Liang Chen followed, his chi blazing, his techniques refined. Together, they carved a path through the dangers, their styles contrasting yet complementing each other. At first, they spoke little. Yen Rui was reserved, his words clipped, his focus absolute. Liang Chen, wary of trust after betrayal, kept his distance. But as battles raged and dangers pressed, a rhythm formed. Yen Rui's blade struck with speed, Liang Chen's qi surged with power, and together they became unstoppable. From blstoriesland.